Last lecture, we have dissect the anterolateral wall of abdomen. You know about the anterolateral wall from superficial to deep. One by one. The skin, subcutaneous tissue. But it's very special. In subcutaneous tissue have two layers. Superficial layer is adipose layer. A deep layer is membranous layer. But the third one should be deep fascia. Deep fascia. On the both sides of the anterior midline, you know, have two muscles, rectus abdominis. On the lateral, from superficial to deep, have three layer muscle. They belong to broad muscle. They are named separately external oblique muscle, internal oblique muscle, and transverse abdominis. You should know the muscular fiber's direction. The external oblique muscle, the muscular fiber, direction fiber, like this. The internal oblique muscle, the muscular fiber's direction, like this. The transverse abdominis, the muscular fiber's direction, like the transverse. But here, you know, here we have removed some external and internal oblique muscle. Here is the external oblique muscle. This muscle, the medial side, the medial half, you know, is aponeurosis. The lateral part is muscular part. From this picture, you know, if we cut from the middle line, no muscle. If we cut from here, only one muscle. If we cut from here, at least I have three muscles. But usually, if it's an emergency for the first aid, usually we cut from here. In short time, we can check the abdominal again. But usually, if some guy suffer from the appendicitis, usually we can cut from here. We have to separate the three-layer muscle according to the direction, separate them, then go into the cavity. This third shows one transverse section of the anterolateral abdominal wall. Here, the first one, skin. The second one, adipose tissue, or subcutaneous tissue. But in the middle side, both sides of the midline, you know, rectus abdominis. This three layer is external, internal oblique muscle, and transverse abdominis. But on their medial side of the three muscle, we will find their aponeurosis. Here is aponeurosis of external oblique muscle. This layer belongs to aponeurosis of transverse abdominis. This layer go to the anterior side of the muscle. This layer go medially to the posterior side of this muscle. But pay attention, this layer muscle, internal oblique muscle, is aponeurosis. Here, divided two layers, one to anterior, and the other go posterior. Their aponeurosis totally enwraps the rectus abdominis to form rectus sheath. Last lecture, the three cadavers we have reflect the wall, abdominal wall, downward. maybe you find some abdominal again. Usually, if the guy is healthy, you should find like this. Here is the liver, the gallbladder, the stomach. But on the anterior surface, you can find some adipose tissue, like an apron, covered the other again, especially small intestine and large intestine. This one we call the greater omentum. Maybe one of three, only one like this. But the other two, we doesn't find the great omentum or shorter omentum. Usually, if the cadaver is healthy, should be like this. Before we observe the abdominal again, we have to take some time to know the peritoneum. Peritoneum. What's the peritoneum? Peritoneum actually is a thin layer, serous membrane. This layer lined the surface of the abdominal gland. We call the visceral layer. But another one lined in the below of the diaphragm, internal layer of the abdominal wall, and the internal wall of the pelvic. This is blue one. We call the parietal layer. Oh, you know, the peritoneum is a thin serous membrane. They are divided into two parts, parietal layer and the visceral layer. So-called visceral layer means this layer covered, enwrap some internal organ. But the other located the internal surface of the diaphragm, abdominal wall, and the pelvic wall. Actually, these two layers to form the continuation. Here, this layer should be parietal, but this layer visceral. Here, visceral and parietal layer to form the continuation. Between these two layers, there is a potential cavity. We call the peritoneal cavity. But in this cavity, there some liquid which function as a lubricating fluid to decrease the rubber resistance. The parietal and basal peritoneal are continuous with each other. Here you can here visceral, here parietal, here to form the continuation. But here, this part we call the parietal layer. But this one covers the urinary bladder, belongs to the visceral part. Here, this area is a continuation. They can reflect. From the wall, to surface of the internal organ. This reflection may form many structures. Here, you know, mesentery. The structure formed by peritoneal usually include the mesentery, ligament, recesses, pouch, ligaments, etc. Here, I have to say something. Actually, at the early stage of the fetus, the peritoneal cavity is empty, no any organ. But here, my labor coats, we can regard this layer as a parietal layer. But my fist looks like a spread of the internal organ from the outer layer to extend to the inner layer. As the time goes by, like this, D, C, B, A means from the As the time goes by, early stage, late stage, here, all mesentery, mesentery. In other words, at the very early stage in our peritoneal cavity, no any again. It's empty. But as the time goes by, some again, from the outer layer into this layer, go into the cavity. If we extend all the peritoneal, all the into the again, nothing, nothing. We cannot see. Actually, it's empty. This shows relationship between abdominal pelvic viscera and the peritoneum. Here is a diagram, not a specimen. Is a transverse section like this. Here, abdominal wall, anterior, posterior. Here is the bone, vertebrae. The black means peritoneal cavity. The black one. Here is a segment of intestine. Here, a colon, maybe ascending colon and the recent ascending colon and the descending colon. Here you should know is a kidney. Here should be blood vessel, artery and the vein, artery and vein. From this picture you know, or like this again, totally enwrapped by the peritoneum. This again we call the intraperitoneal again. Means this again totally enwrapped by the peritoneum. We call this again intraperitoneal, like this. Besides this one, such as stomach, jejunum, appendix, transverse colon, etc. This again, usually we call the intraperitoneal again. If this again suffer from disease, need one operation, we have to cut peritoneal. This is the first type, intraperitoneal viscera. The second type, like this, like ascending colon, descending colon, we can find this colon is three surfaces, anterior, medial, and posterior, covered by peritoneal. Only one side doesn't covered by peritoneal. This again we call the interperitoneal again, such as liver, urinary bladder, ascending colon, descending colon, etc. The third type is retroperitoneal again. Retro means posterior, means again located posterior of the peritoneum. Here I have said left and right kidney. The kidney on the superior end of the kidney, suprarenal gland. Here aorta, here inferior vena cava. This again, only one side connect with the peritoneum. This again we call the retroperitoneal again. If this again suffer from a disease such as the kidney, if we do an operation about the kidney, we didn't cut the peritoneal cavity. We can from here cut, then to push the peritoneal toward. To do like this can prevent infection. If we cut the peritoneal cavity, easily suffer from infection. If we doesn't cut open the peritoneal cavity, it's hard to infection. So we call the kidney operation usually doesn't need open the peritoneal cavity. We can push the peritoneal toward. Three type, intra, peritoneal again, interperitoneal again, and retroperitoneal again. Also abdominal again belongs to one type of three. A structure formed by peritoneal, usually omentum, mesentery, ligament recesses, and pouch, etc. Here is a posterior view. We have reflect abdominal wall downward. What's the omentum? So-called omentum means the omentum actually are the folds of the peritoneal. Usually two layer, but in very special cases maybe have 4 layer. Usually two layer peritoneal combined together, located between the stomach and other abdominal viscera. Omentum means one end connect the liver, another one connect the stomach. Between liver and the stomach, this peritoneal 2 layer we call the omentum. But the omentum also divides the 2 parts. Lesser and greater omentum. First of all, I introduce the lesser omentum. Lesser omentum means the double layer peritoneal connect between liver and lesser curvature and the superior part of the duodenum. This area belongs to the lesser omentum. But the lesser omentum also subdivides the 2 parts. The larger part from here to here, you can know one end connects the hilum of the liver, another end connects the lesser curvature of the stomach. This area we call the hepatogastric ligament. Connect the liver between liver and lesser curvature of the stomach. But another small one, this part connect the hilum of the liver and superior part of the duodenum. It's narrow. This part we call the hepatoduodenal ligaments. In other words, hepatogastric ligaments plus hepatoduodenal ligaments. These 2 plus together we call the lesser omentum. But about the hepatoduodenal ligaments, its ligament is very, very important. Why? Because in this ligament, the artery, the proper hepatic artery, common bile duct, portal-vein, these 3 important structures pass through, located in this ligament. Maybe there is a car accident. One guy here was hit by the car. Maybe the liver broken. The liver is crisp, easily to form to lost many blood. But in this condition, we have quickly to cut open. Then use the doctor maybe extend the left hand with the thumb and the index. Like this to block the blood supply to the liver. Increase the blood. The blood go out. The omentum divides the lesser and the greater. But the lesser you subdivide the 2. This larger one, hepatogastric. This small one, hepatoduodenal ligaments. We have to check and identify. Never forget, in this ligament include 3 important structures. proper hepatic artery, common bile duct, and portal vein. There are three structures located in this ligament. The second part of the omentum is greater omentum. Greater omentum. The greater omentum, like an apron, almost covered all the intestine, including the large intestine and the small intestine. But it's a baby, it's a child. Maybe his inferior body is higher, But in adults, it's almost covered all the stomach. But it's a baby, it's a young child. The greater omentum usually shorter. Its inferior border is higher. Here is the anterior view. Here, I said, is the largest fold of the peritoneum, like an apron, covered anterior surface of the intestine, include the large intestine and small intestine. In some parts, is a double layer. In some parts, maybe have 4 layers. Here, this picture tell us, here is a segmental plane. Here you should know a liver, here stomach, here transverse colon. You know, the greater omentum actually is doubled a 4-layer peritoneum connected between stomach and the transverse colon. Here is very important. Here is a stomach. Stomach's anterior layer, a posterior layer. At the great curvature of the stomach, anterior layer and the posterior layer combined together, then downward. But here, reflect upward. Then this 2 layers separate, enwrap the transverse colon. Here, the 2-layer peritoneum enwrap the transverse colon, united together, then connect the posterior abdominal wall. This structure can hold the transverse colon. So I can say, but in the upper part, between stomach and the transverse colon, this part only have 2 layers. But here, below the transverse colon, here actually have 4-layer peritoneum united together. In upper parts have 2 layers. In lower parts actually have 4 layers. This great omentum. This picture is good. Here, liver, gallbladder, stomach. Here we use a knife cut. Here, cut the opening of the stomach. Here we have cut anterior 2 layer and the posterior 2 layer. This is small part located stomach and transverse colon. But the larger parts have 4 layers. The upper parts only have 2. But this guy with his left hand thumb and index extend to hold the hepatogastric ligaments. But here we can find there is an opening. There is opening. We can extend the left index from the posterior parts of the hepatoduodenal ligament to check the posterior bursa. Another important concept, a mental bursa. omental bursa and omental foramen. Here, this picture also is a segmental plane. Here, liver, anterior layer, posterior layer, on the inferior surface of the liver, anterior and the posterior layer joined together to form the lesser omentum. But at the superior border of the stomach, two layers also separates from anterior and posterior area of the stomach here to form the great omentum, greater omentum. Here, transverse colon, But here is the posterior abdominal wall, abdominal wall. But here we can find there is an opening. This opening is only one opening between great peritoneal cavity and lesser peritoneal cavity. This structure we call the omental bursa, or another name is the lesser peritoneal cavity. But from the posterior parts of the hepatoduodenal ligament, we can extend our finger into here. This opening is only one opening, connect the greater peritoneal cavity and the lesser peritoneal cavity. But maybe the stomach usually easily suffer from some disease, such as cancer, maybe ulcer. If the ulcer is severe enough, maybe to form the opening, the food and acid, gastric acid, can from here go into this sac. While we do this operation, we have to cut the great omentum to remove this material. Here is a transverse section. Pay attention. Usually on the clinical work, all the transverse section usually we view from the downward to upward, 从下向上看. All the transverse section include CT, MRI, many X-ray photo. Usually cut then from the to view from the downward to upward. Here should be left side. Here right side. Oh, you know, stomach. Here means only opening. Here means here. Here means here. Yeah, here is spleen. Here left kidney. Here right kidney. Here aorta. Here inferior vena cava. Well, we dissect and observe spleen. Here, this picture is good. Tell you, use your right hand middle finger. Here, middle finger. Go into between spleen and the left kidney. But the index located between spleen and the stomach. To explore from superior to inferior, like this. But the left hand, we can allow this arrow to explore, to check the omental bursa. Yeah, similar with last one. Here, we call the lesser omentum, omental bursa. But here it's opening. Similar with last one. Structure from the biperitoneal mesentery. What's a mesentery? Mesentery means the double layer peritoneal. This peritoneal connect between intestine and the posterior abdominal wall. From the sagittal plane, you can find this one. We call the transverse vessel colon. This one, many small intestine connected by mesentery of small intestine. The mesentery usually include the mesentery of small intestine like this. This totally belongs to mesentery of small intestine. Here, mesoappendix. Mesoappendix means a small area mesentery. This mesentery connects the appendix to the colon. Never forget, while we do the operation of appendicitis, in this mesoappendix, we can find the artery supplies the appendix. From here, we have to cut the artery. First, cut the artery. And second step, we remove the appendix. In other words, the appendix artery usually located mesoappendix. Here, this part we call the transverse mesocolon. Transverse mesocolon. This mesocolon connect transverse colon to the posterior abdominal wall. Hold the transverse colon located in position. It was. Yeah, here, this picture, here, you should know, here we have removed the middle parts of the transverse colon. The red line means the mesentery of the small intestine to form the root, to form the root. The root we call the root of mesentery. This root usually have a 15 centimeter long, originated from the left upward, then to the right downward. In other words, almost all the mesentery of small intestine connect by this structure, connected to the posterior abdominal wall. Ligament. What's a ligament? So-called ligament means they are a double fold of peritoneum, usually running from one organ to another organ, or from one organ to abdominal wall. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's very important. It's very important. What's a ligament? Ligament means the double layer peritoneum, maybe from this organ to another organ. The first one. Another type is from this organ to the abdominal wall. Here, you can know. Here is the habito-duodenal ligament. Here is the stomach. This is two double layer peritoneum located between this one. This ligament connect this organ to this organ, but between the spleen and the stomach, here you will find another ligament. But between this ligament between spleen and left kidney, you will find another ligament. Here is the anterior surface of the anterior view of the liver. Here you will find one falciform ligament, but here you will find round ligament of the liver. Pouch. What's a pouch? So-called the pouch. Usually in the lesser pelvis. The peritoneal dip downward, forming a larger fossa named the pouch. Well, we stand here. Is the lateral view is a middle sagittal plane. Here you know urinary bladder. Here your uterus. Here rectum. Here the peritoneal, the parietal peritoneal. Here continuation with the visceral on the surface of the urinary bladder. Here to form the fold, then cover the uterus. here to form another fold to cover the anterior wall of the rectum. Then finally, here, continuation with the posterior abdominal wall, periatal peritoneal. From this lateral view, you can find here and here have two pouch. This pouch we call the vesical uterine pouch. Vesical means urinary bladder here. Vesical uterine pouch, the first one. Another one here, this one we call the rectal uterine pouch. Oh, you know, in female, the female standard in the peritoneal cavity, there are two pouch. But the second one, this rectal uterine tube, uterine pouch, is the lowest in female, well stand. So, if some guy, if the female maybe suffer from disease, some blood, liquid, inflammation liquid, well stand easily storage here. If some liquid located here, we can do the puncture from the rectum or from here to from a puncture to draw out this liquid from here. Usually we can here to do a puncture, to do a puncture. Number one, number two. But here this lateral view is a male. You know, the male no uterus, only, here is a urinary bladder. This bladder contains many urine, very large. So usually, before we do the operation about the urinary bladder, usually we let the patient to empty the bladder. If the urinary bladder includes many urine, if we do an incision from here, maybe to injure the bladder, the urine can come out to form the infection. But in male, only one pouch. This pouch we call the rectal vesical pouch. This pouch is the lowest part. Is a male, stand. After we reflect abdominal wall downward from the internal surface of the lower part, we can find 5 structures. I labeled number one. This fold we call the median umbilical fold. Median umbilical fold. In this fold contain the uricus. Uricus actually is the canal. This canal connects urinary bladder and umbilicus. Number two and number 3 paired. This one. Number 2 we call the median umbilical cord. In this fold contains the umbilical artery. But in the lateral side, this one we call the lateral umbilical fold. This fold contains one important artery. We call the inferior epigastric artery. Last lecture, we cut the rectus abdominis, reflect upward and downward. From the posterior part, usually we can find 2 arteries. The upper one is superior epigastric artery. This artery usually from the internal thoracic artery. But in the lower part, we can find another artery. We call the inferior epigastric artery. This artery usually from the external iliac artery. space of the peritoneum, while we reflect the abdominal wall, we can find some space in the abdomen. But here, diaphragm, here is the liver. Between diaphragm and the liver, actually, on the left side and the right side, you can extend your hand between diaphragm and the liver. This space we call the left suprahepatic space. This one we call the right suprahepatic space. Left and right separated by falciform ligament. You can use the hand from the right to left. You can also use the right hand from the left to right side, but the left and right side was separated by falciform ligament. But on the lateral side of the descending colon and the ascending colon, we can find left paracolic sulcus, right paracolic sulcus. But here is the root of mesentery. On the left side, here is the sulcus we call the left mesenteric sinus. On the right side, this one we call the right mesenteric sinus. Okay, the viscera is the abdomen. We can close our eye to miss. In our abdomen, actually mainly include some organ. What organ? Mainly, most again belongs to digestive system. But it's a pelvic here belongs to the urinary and reproductive, like this. Besides this again, also include the blood vessel, larger blood vessel, include artery and vein. Here we have removed some small intestine. You should know, here we have removed the diaphragm, here liver, stomach, here spleen, here transverse colon. We have removed the partial, not a larger part. Ascending colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum. Here the terminal part of the small intestine. Here appendix. Here duodenum. Left side is a diagram. The left side is a specimen. Here, it's lung, heart, pericardium. The blue line means the diaphragm. Above the diaphragm belong to cervix. Below the diaphragm belong to abdominal. Below the diaphragm, you can know the liver. On the right side and middle, liver. The left side, stomach. Here, greater mentum, small intestine, large intestine. This one tell me lesser and greater mentum. Lesser and greater mentum. This picture here from the specimen. Here diaphragm. Here falciform ligament of the liver. Here left suprahepatic space. Right suprahepatic space. Between left and right, separated by falciform ligaments. You can extend your left hand and right hand from the left side and the right side to the middle. You will find separated by this one, by this ligament. Here we we push the stomach downward, downward. Yeah, here's stomach. The liver, you know, the liver, above the liver is heart and lung, heart and lung, heart and lung. You know, because the diaphragm looks like a dome. So, usually, the right lung usually shorter than the left side. But because the heart located in the middle and pushes the left lung, so the left lung usually is shorter, is longer than the right side. Is the right side. About the liver, liver. This two picture from the specimen, anterior view, superior view. You can find fusiform ligament. Actually, fusiform ligament. This end connect the liver. Another end connect the diaphragm. Connect the diaphragm. Actually, this ligament hold the liver. Hold the liver. To between liver to the diaphragm. Here is a superior view. You can find on the superior surface on the both sides. This one have another two ligament. We call the left and right coronary ligament. Left and right coronary ligament. But on the lateral end of the coronary ligament, you will find the small. This one we call the triangular ligament. Triangular ligament. But on the free border of the falciform ligament is another ligament we call the round ligament of the liver. Round ligament of the liver. How to find the round ligament of the liver? First, find the falciform ligament, then downward at the inferior border is a continuation of this ligament. It's teres hepatis, or round ligament of the liver. Yeah, here is a diagram. Here falciform ligament. Here left and right coronary ligament. Here left and right triangular ligament. Here you can find the gallbladder. Locate the inferior side of the right lobe of the liver. This picture is the inferior surface. You know, the inferior surface not smooth. You can find many impressions. But again, here left side, here right side. Usually on the inferior surface of the liver, we can find like an English letter H. Left longitudinal circus, right longitudinal circus, and transverse circus, like an English letter H. The H actually is a boundary of different lobe. The left longitudinal, the left side is left lobe. The right longitudinal lobe, the right longitudinal circus, the right side, we call the right lobe. Between left and right longitudinal circus, anterior parts of the transverse circus, we call this region quadrate lobe. But the posterior parts of the transverse circus, we call the caudate lobe. Pay attention. From the anterior view, the left lobe is small, right is larger. The boundary is falciform ligament. If we check from the inferior surface, this lobe totally belongs to the right lobe. It's very important at this point. This lobe together belongs to right lobe. But on the transverse circus, you will find some important structure. Portal vein, common bile duct. and proper hepatic artery. This three structure located the hepatoduodenal ligament. Yeah, this picture is good, I think. From the hilum of the liver, there are three canals go into the liver. They are, red one is artery, the blue one is portal vein, the yellow one is bile duct. But on the superior surface, close to the surface here, actually the hepatic vein located here. The hepatic vein from here drainage to the inferior vena cava. Maybe it's final examination. I ask you how to find the hepatic vein. Not here, located the superior surface. Here only portal vein. No hepatic vein. Yeah, here portal vein, hepatic vein. Hepatic vein. Here superior, inferior vena cava. Usually there are three branch drainage to the inferior vena cava. Usually we call them left, middle, right hepatic vein. If you want to find the hepatic vein, we can from here to separate, to see. Yeah, here is a specimen. It's a superior view. You can find the inferior vena cava. Here, hepatic vein. Here you can find from the internal surface of the inferior vena cava. You usually can find there are three openings. The three openings is a drainage opening, left, middle, right hepatic vein. The common bile duct. The liver secretes bile, go into the bile duct. The left lobe go into left hepatic duct. The right lobe secretes the bile, go into right hepatic duct. Left and right hepatic duct unite to form common hepatic duct. Here is the gallbladder, the fundus, body, neck, and the cystic duct. This duct drainage to the common hepatic duct. This one plus this one drainage together to form common bile duct. Here, never confuse. Here we call it common hepatic duct. But below the drainage point here we call it common bile duct. The common bile duct downward passes through the posterior part of the duodenum. Here, duodenum, the superior part. Here go passes through the posterior part of the pancreas. Here go passes through the wall of the duodenum. So we can say the common bile duct usually divides to four segments. The first one from here to here we call the supraduodenal segment. This one. The second one from here to here. This one located the posterior part of the superior part of the duodenum. This one from here to here we call the second part. The third part begin here, then passes through the posterior part of the pancreas. Here is the actually this part covered by pancreas. Finally, the terminal end of the common bile duct and the terminal end of the pancreatic duct to drainage united together. Here, common bile duct. Here, hepatic duct. Two ducts drainage together, pass through the wall of the duodenum, opened descending part of the duodenum. So bile duct secreted by liver and digestive juice by pancreas. Finally, from here, go into duodenum to digestive different material. This picture is good. Here, label the different level of the bone. Thoracic 12, number 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, you know, aorta. Left side is aorta, right side is inferior mini kidney. Here, left and right kidney. Here, spleen. Here, pancreas. Here, duodenum. Superior part, descending part, horizontal part, ascending part. Here, here, the red one. Here, this blood, this artery is very important. We call it celiac trunk. This artery, we call the celiac trunk. You know, the celiac trunk usually divides the 3 branches. The small one, we call the left gastric artery. Left gastric artery. To the left, this one is the larger one. We call the splenic artery. Splenic artery go into the spleen, supply this again. Another one we call the common hepatic duct artery. Common hepatic artery. Artery. How to find the pancreatic, the splenic artery? First, find the pancreas. Along superior border, you can find the splenic artery. Here is very important. At the inferior border of the pancreas, there are another 2 larger important arteries. Superior mesenteric artery and vein. Never confuse. The left side is artery, right side is vein. This artery, a superior mesenteric artery and vein, supply almost all the small intestine, plus appendix, colon, cecum, ascending colon, and most parts of transverse colon. Yeah. Cystohepatic. Here, there is a small triangle. Here is a common bile duct. Here is a cystic duct. Here is liver. Here is liver. This is 3. This is 3. Here, this lateral, medial, left side, right side. Here is the inferior border of the liver. Here, this triangle we call the cowlet triangle. In this triangle, you will find very important structure. Yeah, cystic artery. This artery supplies the gallbladder. If we do an operation, maybe some casino, maybe if the gallbladder suffer from the stone, maybe is the carcinoma, we can remove this again. But before removing it, we have to like it from here to find this artery. How to find? In this triangle, the superior is liver, the left side is common bile duct, the right side is cystic duct. In this triangle to find the cystic duct artery. But here, this artery maybe the artery usually located the posterior parts of the common bile duct. But in some condition, maybe from the front of the common bile duct, and maybe in the posterior part, maybe in the front part. Yeah, here is local enlargements are similar. Yeah, gallbladder, yeah, similar with last one. Yeah, here liver, gallbladder, stomach. Here is the aorta, aorta. Here is a very important artery called celiac trunk. Usually at the level of the first lumbar vertebrae. Remember, celiac trunk usually at the level of the first lumbar vertebrae level. This slide is very, very important. Today, we have dissect all the artery to supply the stomach. Here is the stomach, here duodenum, here esophagus, here spleen. Spleen. Here is a celiac trunk at the level of the first lumbar vertebrae. I have said this artery gives rise to 3 branches. The small one we call the left gastric artery. The left gastric artery go to the left upward, close to the cardiac, then downward along the lesser curvature of the stomach. Here, left gastric artery. But this one we call the common hepatic artery. This one we call the proper hepatic artery. From this artery give rise, we call the right gastric artery. Here, the right and the left gastric artery to form the anastomosis. This one totally supply the left side, the right side, or lesser curvature of the stomach. The second branch of the celiac trunk is the largest one, splenic artery. This artery located in the posterior parts of the stomach, usually covered by the stomach. I have said this artery usually located the superior border of the pancreas. How to find this artery? To reflect the downward of the stomach, is opposed to the pancreas. Along the pancreas superior border, you will find this artery. Then to the left hand is the terminal. Go into the spleen. Supply this again. The third one branch is also larger. We call it common hepatic artery. The common hepatic artery usually divided into 2. The upward we call the proper hepatic artery. Downward we call the gastroduodenal artery. Gastroduodenal artery. But from this artery usually give two branch. One downward supplies the duodenum, another one along the greater curvature, right side of the stomach. This one we call the right gastroepiploic artery. But from the terminal end of the splenic artery downward to the right, give rise left gastroepiploic artery. This artery and this artery here to form the anastomosis. But close to the terminal end of the splenic artery, usually you will find another 2 or 3 small arteries. This artery to supply the founders. Now you should know the artery supplies the stomach at least have 5 names. Left gastric artery directly from the celiac trunk. Right gastric artery usually from the proper hepatic artery. Left gastroepiploic artery usually from the splenic artery. The right gastroepiploic artery usually from the gastroduodenal artery. Here there are 2 or 3 small ones. Short gastric artery. Here, tell me their origin. Today, you should to find them. The first step along the lesser curvature to find left and right gastric artery. The second step along the greater curvature of the stomach to find this one. To find the left and the right gastroepiploic artery. But close to the spleen to find another two. This two is very short, very small. But this four is important. Left and right gastric artery, left and right gastroepiploic artery. Yeah, here is a specimen. Specimen. Here, left gastric artery. Here, right gastric artery. Here, right gastroepiploic artery. Here, left gastroepiploic artery. Here, not show a short artery, a short gastric artery. Short gastric artery may be covered by the stomach. Yeah, here. Yeah, here. Celiac trunk, a gallbladder, splenic artery, left gastric artery, common hepatic artery. Here, proper hepatic artery. Here, gastroduodenal artery. Here, right gastroepiploic artery. Here, left gastroepiploic artery. But here show you a short gastric artery here. Here we have cut the greater omentum, then reflect gastric, reflect the stomach upward to 8th pose. Here, pancreas. Along the pancreas superior border, easily to find the splenic artery. I say it again. How to find the splenic artery? Reflect stomach upward to 8th pose the pancreas. Along the superior border of the pancreas, easily to find the splenic artery. Here, common hepatic artery. Here, spleen. The vein of the stomach followed its artery. Similar. The lymph node also arranged followed the blood vessel of stomach. The nerve of the stomach. We have to dissect. First step, to find the terminal end of esophagus. You know, the left vagus nerve located the anterior surface of the esophagus to form anterior trunk of the vagus nerve. But the posterior trunk belongs to the right vagus nerve. Here is a picture. Here is a specimen. Here only show you anterior trunk of vagus nerve. But the posterior part is covered by the stomach. Never forget. Left vagus nerve located the anterior surface of the esophagus to form the anterior trunk of the vagus nerve. But the right vagus nerve located in the posterior parts, we call the posterior trunk of the vagus nerve. Yeah, repeat this one. Two space. Yeah. Okay.